She paid $40 for a rusty old safe nobody else wanted. No name, no combination, no key. 3 days later, a lawyer showed up at her door with an offer of $4 million to buy it back. She said no. And that's when things got dangerous. Emily Carter was 34 years old, working double shifts at a diner outside Springfield, Ohio. Her husband had left 2 years earlier. Her son, Jake, was 8, and every month felt like a math problem she couldn't solve. That Saturday, she wasn't even planning to go to the estate auction. Her neighbor dragged her along, promising good deals on furniture. But that's not the craziest part. In the back of a dusty barn sat an old steel safe, half buried under moving blankets. Cracked, rusted, heavy as a car engine. The auctioneer barely mentioned it. Sold as is. No key, no combination. Who wants to start the bidding at $10? Nobody raised a hand. Nobody except Emily. She wasn't even thinking straight. She just had a weird pull she couldn't explain. $40 later, it was hers. She had no idea what was coming next. Getting it home took 3 guys and a truck ramp. Getting it open took 4 days and a locksmith named Daniel who specialized in antique safes. When Daniel finally cracked the mechanism, he froze. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "you might want to sit down for this." Inside were stacks of yellowed documents, a leather journal, and an envelope sealed in wax, the kind rich families used decades ago. The name on the documents stopped her cold. Whitmore. As in Whitmore Steel. As in the billionaire family whose name was on half the buildings downtown. But that's not the craziest part. The documents weren't business papers. They were adoption records. Dated 1991. Emily's hands were shaking as she opened the journal. It belonged to Eleanor Whitmore, the matriarch of the family who had died 2 years earlier, leaving behind a fortune and, according to the news, no living heirs. But the journal told a different story. Asterisk. I gave my daughter away to protect her from him. If anyone ever finds this safe, please find her. Her name is Grace. Asterisk. Taped inside the back cover was a photo. Baby girl. Born in 1991. Same year as Emily's birth certificate. She wasn't ready for what came next. She called her aunt, hands trembling. Her aunt went silent. The kind of silence that means someone's about to tell the truth after 30 years of hiding it. "Emily," her aunt finally said, "you were adopted. We promised your birth mother we'd never tell you." Guess what her birth name was? Grace. That's when everything changed. And someone was already watching. Nathaniel Whitmore, Eleanor's estranged son and current CEO, had known about the safe for years. He'd spent 3 years quietly buying up every storage record, every auction listing, every barn on his mother's old properties, trying to make sure it never surfaced. When his assistant flagged Emily's name at a routine record search, he didn't panic. He got to work. He had his lawyer draft an NDA before Emily even finished reading the journal. He pulled Emily's credit history, her landlord's number, even Jake's school district, building a file on a woman who had no idea she was being watched. But that's not the craziest part. 2 days later, the black car pulled into her driveway. Nathaniel's lawyer offered $4 million cash for the safe and everything inside. No questions asked, if she signed and walked away quietly. Emily said no. That night, someone broke into her garage. The safe was untouched, but her car window was smashed, and a note sat on the seat. Asterisk. Some inheritances aren't meant to be found. Asterisk. She had no idea Nathaniel had already scheduled a closed-door board meeting to fast-track a company restructuring, one that would legally bury her claim before she even knew she had one. Turns out, if Emily was Eleanor's granddaughter, she wasn't just entitled to sentimental value. She was entitled to 22% of Whitmore Steel. A DNA test, arranged quietly through her own attorney, confirmed it within 2 weeks, time just days before Nathaniel's board vote. She wasn't just Grace. She was the missing heir the entire family thought never existed. And she'd found the truth just in time to stop him. Nathaniel fought it in court, but Eleanor's notarized journal and 30-year-old adoption papers made the case airtight. His plan to quietly restructure the company collapsed the moment the judge froze the vote. In the final meeting, the man who'd once had her watched sat stone-faced as the settlement was read aloud. Emily didn't gloat. She simply said, "My grandmother spent her whole life protecting me. I'm not here for revenge. I'm here because she wanted me found." Emily didn't take over the company. She didn't move into a mansion. She paid off her aunt's medical bills, put Jake through school, and funded a scholarship in Eleanor Whitmore's name for single mothers rebuilding their lives. The $40 safe now sits in her living room, empty, polished, and open. The safe had been locked for 30 years. But it wasn't protecting money. It was protecting the truth. If you love hidden inheritance stories, billionaire secrets, and unforgettable mysteries, make sure to subscribe. We bring you brand new cinematic stories every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next mystery.